and the Americans are going home themselves in large numbers, pleased by what they've achieved.
Soccer now, and police in Holland say the terrible fighting which broke out last night when Tottenham Hotspur played Feyenoord was started by fans of the Dutch club. 30 people were injured in the clashes and police arrested 33 fans. Here in Britain, Mr Neil McFarlane, the Government Minister for Sport, has announced he's going to have talks with the chairman of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. During the day, hundreds of Spurs fans have been returning home. Some told stories of how the Dutch fans had rioted before the game and blamed them for the fighting. Hundreds of other Spurs fans were escorted by Dutch police to the ferry which brought them back from Holland. The violence erupted on the terraces before the teams had taken to the field, and earlier in the streets of Rotterdam, fans clashed in running battles. The Spurs captain, Steve Perryman, appealed to the crowd to stop, but his words went unheeded. The votes in South Africa's special election have now been counted, and it's clear the whites have voted overwhelmingly to change the way the country is run. The results mean Indians and coloureds, people who are not a mixture of black and white, will soon be able to vote in elections. But black people, who make up most of the population, still won't get the vote, and the whites are still firmly in control. And finally tonight, a family who went on holiday to Greece came back with a very special and expensive souvenir. During their stay, they made friends with a local dog, and when they got home, they spent more than £1,000 bringing her to Britain. Andy Webb reports.
It was no pampered, well-pedigreed pet which so aroused John's sympathy. Instead, a 6-month-old mongrel puppy, living off scraps thrown by tourists. On the beach at Pefkahuri, John fed the puppy every day for a fortnight. He called her Uzo and even offered to send money each week from England if one of the locals would promise to care for her. No sooner was he home in Eastbourne than he decided to make sure by applying for permission to return and rescue her himself. Uzo has so far spent nearly 4 months in quarantine near Brighton. With regular visits, she'll remain behind bars until just after Christmas. But after that, compared with what she's used to, life should be just one long holiday.
Uzo oozing with happiness. And that's all from News Round this week. I'll be on the air again on Monday. Until then, bye-bye.
Well, tomorrow is Friday, and that means at 5 o'clock it's Crackerjack. This week's Stew's special guests are Jimmy Cricket, Modern Romance, David Joseph and the Hot Dogs. Now on BBC One, it's Blue Peter.
Just a glimpse of one of the most dangerous and exciting of all circus acts, and you can see how I became involved with the men and women of the flying trapeze a bit later.
First though, some news that's going to be of special interest to Jack here. As you know, Jack's a silver tabby, and this Saturday 176 silver tabbies, chinchillas and smoke cats will be meeting in Harrow. It's their society's 75th anniversary, and to mark the event they're holding a special show. Well, to give you some idea of how high the standard's going to be, we've invited some past winners to the studio, and the first of our top cats is Salila Prima Donna.
Otherwise known as Prima. Prima's a beautiful silver tabby, just like Jack, and last year, as well as being voted the best kitten by the Chinchilla, Silver Tabby and Smoke Cat Society show, she also won the title of Supreme Exhibit. Well, add to that all these trophies, 40 different cups and trophies altogether, and you can see that she really is a very special cat, and that's really not bad for a 15-month-old. Well, Prima belongs to Dr. and Mrs. Ben Saud of Oakington, and she had a rather shaky start to life because she was born premature and spent her first 24 hours in an incubator. But now I'm happy to say that she's in the peak of health, and I'm sure she'll go on to win lots more prizes. Well, now, after a superb silver tabby, have a look at the champion chinchilla.
He's Premier Mauritia Simpatico, or Tico for short, and he's called Simpatico because he's got a friendly and contented nature. He's won 8 Premier certificates, and that's in cat shows, and 2 Grand Premiers, and his owner, Mrs. Eileen Peachy, hopes he's in line for his 3rd Grand Premier. Let's hope that Tico pulls it off. Now, a condition of a cat, to ensure that they win more awards like that, they have to be in really good condition. But that could be a bit of a problem for the next champ.
But that's only because Grand Champion Andarfil's Cleo here, or Cleo for short, has just had a kitten. And he's reclining regally here and rejoicing in the name of Zulu Warrior. It's probably saying it as well. Now, Cleo is a smoke cat, and they're rather rare in Britain. In fact, Cleo is the only Grand Champion smoke cat in the country. And although she's only 4 years old, she's already won 15 championship awards. Well, I don't suppose you believe what goes on behind the scenes to get these cats to this sort of condition. But a few days before a show, they're given a bath in special cat shampoo, and then their fur is blow-dried. Next comes the secret ingredient to get their fur really lustrous and thick. Talcum powder is rubbed into their fur. I only do a little because poor old Cleo doesn't really want to put up with it now. Is it going up your nose, Zuzu? And then it's brushed vigorously because no trace of the talcum powder must remain when it comes to the judging. So literally right up until the last minute when the judges make their choice, they're brushed and brushed to remove all the traces. And as you can see, both the cats and their owners work really hard for these awards, but judging by the look of our 3 champions here in the studio, I think the 75th anniversary of the Silver Tabby, Chinchilla and Smoke Cat show is going to be a really splendid affair.
Yep, I'm sure our cats will go on to even greater successes. Well, now for the circus you saw at the start of the programme. It's always been my ambition to have a go on the flying trapeze, but